Okay, so this is Puzzle Agent All Puzzles. I don't call it 100% because there are some minor collectibles that I just really don't feel like picking up, and I'd rather just do all the puzzles. So anyways, timing starts when I choose start on the first puzzle, so there's about a 2-minute intro before that. I'm like sitting here. So Puzzle Agent came out in 2004. No, it was before 2014, right? 2000 something. 2012, 13, 14, somewhere around there. It's on like the, yeah. It came out a while ago. And it's on PC and PS3, maybe 360. I know it's on PS3. Don't play the PS3 version. The PS3 version is very, very bad. PC version is very, very good. PS3 version has really bad controls. But the game just doesn't translate very well to doing controller. I think I tried it once and it was something like an hour run instead of a 30-minute run, and that was just 80%. Oh, yeah, that was 80%, so it was bad. Anyway, we see this cutscene so many times. Alright, so, let's solve it. 3, 2, 1, go. So, first thing I'm going to be doing here is bringing these pieces into place. Sometimes the hitboxes can be a little weird on them, so it's a little iffy at times, but that was a little slow. I think I tend to want like sub 10, but whatever, it went. So I'm going to be doing a lot of clicking and sometimes the enter key to try and skip the text. The text is kind of funny, worth playing for. But it adds, like, to view it all is at, like, 20 or 25 minutes onto the run. Anyways, welcome to Scoggins. So, the puzzle we solved said Scoggins on it. We found out there's an eraser shortage here. We need to go solve it. We need to find out why there's an eraser shortage. But what better person to send than the head of the puzzle solving division at the FBI, right? I think there actually might have been better people to send, but details. So anyways, we arrive here in Scoggins, Minnesota, which has a population of 745, at least according to the game. And he's going to be talking to himself in his little tape recorder a whole lot. Sometimes you can kind of skip it fast enough that you see, like, the actual animation frames of him moving there. So I tend to try and want my cursor to be on a good point to hit the next trigger. Unfortunately, during cutscenes, I can't actually see my cursor. So it's a little tough to make sure you are on the right spot. And this is one of the few log placing puzzles to kind of get yourself around. You have every traffic light in that puzzle. There is one log already placed, but it's faster to place that other log so you do less squares than to place one less log. It's faster to place 3 logs instead of 2 logs because you go move less spaces. So he heads off to find the inn, which is what he's trying to find, and we end up at the same exact spot because, well, it turns out we were actually at the inn because, like I said, may not have been the right person to send for this. So I just want to say goodbye And inspect the fence. After inspecting the fence, I need to go into the hotel. So this is our first optional puzzle with these gnomes. We're gonna have to figure out which one got stolen. The power of notes, I know it's the top right one. You're supposed to compare them and figure them out. And to find the difference with a missing piece, basically. So next we need to talk to this guy who's doing a puzzle. And this puzzle is always the same, and yet I click on the wrong pieces. It's always the same every single time. So you just have to remember which pieces to actually click on. So after doing those, we talk to the landlady here. And she's gonna have a puzzle for us to figure out what our room number is. But because unfortunately they put it in code, but that's the worst code ever because it's very easy to solve. So that we get our room key, we never actually go into our room because we're too busy solving puzzles. Next we have to ask her about getting around because that way we get a map. If you try and leave without doing that, then, well, you're not going to get very far. We've got a rinimt phone situation going on here, but I'm busy. So next he's like, hey, do you have any gum? Well, it turns out they've been out of gum for ages, but thankfully there's used gum sitting around on random walls in the snow, wherever. I wouldn't eat it, but apparently he will. That's your hint system. And that is the collectibles I really don't want to go for when it comes to getting 100%. Which is why I call this all puzzles. So in total, with all puzzles, you add 13 puzzles to the game. There are 24 required and 13 optional. So I need to ask the sheriff all of the questions. One of them leads to a puzzle in which you have to figure out the time. Which is, it's like a word math sort of puzzle to compare, just figure out the time from what everyone's saying. But again, thanks to Power of Notes, I just know to go to 8. And we finish asking the questions here and say goodbye and find out our next destination is going to be the diner. Do some questioning. Well, we're supposed to meet him at the diner. The diner is on the bottom right? Yeah, it's on the right. So we get to meet this guy who is the repairman in town. He is whacking at the sign to fix it, and he's whacking at it with a wrench. Because that is totally how you fix it, right? Seems right to me. So you want to talk directly to him. You don't want to try and go through the door. If you go through the door, it's a little bit slower. You want to ask him about the sign. That's why it's a little bit slower to try and go through the door instead of just talk to him directly. Or talk to him directly instead of go through the door. Ugh. Yeah. Whatever I said. I don't know. I'm going on my words. Anyways, you have to figure out the pattern of the pieces there. But, just got no solution. And apparently I had my cursor right on the door, so I just went right to it. Sweet. Anyways, I need to talk to this lady on the right. She is going to hold our next 2 optional puzzles. By optional, I mean totally required because it's all puzzles. So the first one is going to be to set up these rations. And I hate this puzzle. The pieces don't actually have a proper hitbox until you move them. The bacon, that, steak. This seems like a totally balanced diet. A piece of cake, some bacon, a chicken leg. This seems balanced, right? Yeah, so the pieces don't actually have a proper hitbox until you physically move them. So after you do that, you'll keep talking to her and she will pop up with a non-lit up puzzle piece. That means it is... I need to... chicken. These pieces are random, the order that they're in. That. So you're supposed to figure out what everyone wants from the hints they give you. Fortunately, the pieces are random, so I was trying to go through muscle memory, and that wasn't working very well. So after you do that, let's talk to the sheriff, and he is going to have a puzzle for us, because he's like, hey, so I got these security footage things, but I totally messed with the order just because they make you solve a puzzle. Thanks, Sheriff. You're a real help. So once we do all that, we just want to say goodbye, and we find out we need to speak to this man named Mike Law. He's the last person who was seen leaving the eraser factory. So we need to find him. Found out he was last seen in the Sesame Woods. Once we leave, what's this? More talking to his tape recorder, and then we are off to the Sesame Woods. So we found out from the sheriff that Mike Lobb has an orange vest. This guy has an orange vest. He seems to be a little bit frozen. That's not good. He has a map in front of him. We need to solve this map, but we need to... The idea here is we need to make it so that none of these gnomes on the path can reach us. I kind of did a sanity check on that. You kind of have to really watch it there, because you can just accidentally miss, like, one single path leading to a gnome. Oh, hey, he's not totally frozen. He's gonna give us this gear. The map puzzle sucks, honestly. What are we supposed to do with the gear? I don't know. I mean, it seemed like there was a gear missing from the factory, right? And he's frozen again. Well, so much for that. So our favorite repairman is here again, this time trying to fix what looks like a push door with a screwdriver. So we need to talk to him and ask him a singular option on his menu once it pops up. I never remember which option exactly it is. I think it's the third one? It is the third one. My cursor was on the second one, though. So we ask him about his alibi. After asking about his alibi, we want to head back to the hotel. I don't exactly remember why. I think we're supposed to find, like, more stuff there. Anyways, there's a help wanted sign here. This is another optional puzzle. So the town hired the football team to help them out, or this store hired the football team. They need to practice. So they need to toss around their football without breaking any glass. So, goodbye. So here's Scream inside the inn. And it turns out that a piece of this furnace was taken, and then a gnome's literally gonna take a piece, or that Sorry, the furnace fell apart, and no one's gonna take a piece of the furnace. Now I have to follow him. And it's faster to say quit there instead of trying to solve the puzzle, because the next time you enter the puzzle, anything you might have tried to solve before will not be solved anymore. So it's just faster to say quit and make the gnome take the piece right away. There's a few puzzles where you will want to do this on. So after that little exchange, Nelson tethers is like, nope, I'm out, peace. I can't do this anymore. It's like, oh wait, the sheriff was like betting I would leave? No, there's something going on here. I am going to get to the bottom of it. So head back out to the alleyway. Before we talk to the guy, we need to examine that paper at the bottom and figure out the winner of a wrestling contest. Again, power-up notes, just know who it is. So now we talk to the guy who we did that weird worm puzzle for before. And I need to place a piece in every single one of those empty little dotted line squares. Because if you don't, it's just gonna fizzle out. After that, wait, there's another gear that was in that stovepipe piece. Back inside and let's repair the stove. This is gonna be a puzzle similar to the tapeworm one, except the pieces are gonna be random. I have a like pattern I kind of do this in just to make sure I do it right. Ish. I still am catching myself trying to make sure I do it right. So after that, we talk to her and we need to ask her about the repairman. We need to confirm his alibi. So after, with that, let's go ahead and leave. And the sign at that place that hired the football team is going to have changed once we are back in control. It's now going to say closed. So again, the football team needs to practice their passes. That's a lot harder, and that one can kind of trip you up if you just miss the path. So back to the diner. We are going to have basically a line of the last remaining optional puzzles here. See if I can not mess these up. Like that. Like that. Like I almost did. So you're trying to place the bugs in as few spaces as possible, but they need a certain amount of space to certain amount of space to move. This one can definitely really trip you up if you are not watching it. It'd be easy to miss how you're supposed to place everything. So the grasshoppers need 3 spaces, including the one they're on. The little bugs need 2 spaces, including the one they're on. But yeah, you need them in as few boxes as possible. So more bugs. Now I have to tell you the rules every single time. Oh, we got through bugs. I honestly hate the bug puzzles. And this guy is gonna have 2 optional puzzles for us. No, 3 optional puzzles for us. Who are you? Will help us get to the puzzles stuff. That's our first optional puzzle with him. So it turns out he's in a bird shipping business, with the birds being the carriers. So I have to watch it there. If I try and press the numbers too fast, I actually hit submit. Because the hitbox for submit is flying over the numbers. That one's the easy one. It's just 14. So birds. So do. So now you have to balance the weight of the packages between the birds, and there's going to be 2 puzzles like this. The little birds can carry 1 on each foot. The owls carry 1.5, and the mallards carry 2. Oops. This one's kind of a sideways pattern. That one little blue bird carries nothing. So, chair puzzle. You might have seen these chairs sitting in the corner. This is our next required puzzle. So chairs are a pain in the butt. They don't like to play nice with how the pieces lay out for you, and how the pieces appear in the stats is random. Oh my gosh, this time save though. Did I? No. I didn't miss a puzzle, did I? Oops. I picked up a piece of gum. I don't think I missed a puzzle. I think I just cleaned stuff up. Anyway, we want to go to the lodge, the new place. That's where I forget. I'm like so distracted thinking, how the heck did I save so much time? But anyways, we need to go to the lodge. We've got the next hardest puzzle ever. Actually kind of hard if you don't just know the solution. You have to cut every single piece with 1 line. There's only 1 line that will do it. I need to ask him about all 3 questions here. So, the lady at the diner who we just saw in there is actually the wife of the person who's missing from the eraser factory that we found out about at some point. And it seems she's into some weird stuff. Now she's creeping around here. We should follow her. Should practice this puzzle, but we'll go with it. Oh no, I did practice it. I didn't practice the other one. It's fine. The other one, this is all part of any percent now. We have done all 13 optional puzzles at this point, so we just need to beat the game. So that's like that second puzzle we did, where we had to do the snowmobile. We just have to go over all the tracks and end up in the question mark center there. Well, it seems she's leaving food outside the factory? But then we find gnomes are picking away at it. I guess looking at my previous segment, I actually only gained 10 seconds on gold, so maybe I didn't miss a puzzle? Oh yeah, this is like a nice little break. Just no dialogue in this a little bit. This part right here always ends up seeming to be the default thumbnail on YouTube. Or just like smashes into a tree or just right around this point. So now, we're in space. Space! Are we though? Like, on one side we see Scoggins, on the other side we see space. So we need to ask him all 3 questions again in order to progress. So we need to connect the wires, otherwise things are going to be bad. So yellow goes to yellow, red goes to red. And they can't overlap or anything. There's always a little bit of like a pause after you clear that puzzle. Oh my gosh. So now I need to talk to all 3 of these people. First off, we talked to Bjorn, the man we met at the start, and ask him all 3 questions. And then they are each going to have a puzzle for us. First one is Bjorn. Again, the submit button's gonna fly right over the number, so I have to watch it. Accidentally submitting with the incorrect solution or without a solution is about a 30-second time loss. It's honestly probably where I'm getting my time. So now we need to place the fish in the right places to have them evenly split up. And then finally, we're gonna have to figure out a sock question. That's all I remember about it. It involves socks. And the answer is C. Finally, I need to examine the table, but just press quit because the gnome is going to take a fuse. So now we need to go after that gnome and get our piece back. But thankfully the gnome left little footprints and I just examined something on the sign, which is apparently a like hour-long cutscene. There we go. This is the one I didn't practice. I think I got it though. I don't know, this one, yeah, this one's in my notes, so it's fine. I have the solution in my notes. So you need to go over all these little pieces of, I call them glass. I think they're supposed to be like footprints or something, but I call them glass, and finally end up at the question mark spot. Yeah, I'm eating that cutscene. 5-second loss, ouch. So we need to head for the Sesame Woods. That's where it was pointing us towards. You might have recognized the hut from the lake. Which now, oh look! There's that missing piece of the gear. I didn't practice this gear puzzle. Or that gear puzzle, oops. It's fine, it's probably 80%. Be my excuse. Hey, so now Glory is going to lock us in the ice hut and then bring out a chainsaw and try and sink the ice hut by breaking the ice with the chainsaw. Thinking that We are locked in. But thankfully there's a bunch of fish in here with one that holds the key to get out. I'd like to point out that one of the tags for this game on Twitch is horror. Because apparently the gnomes are so super scary. And Nelson Tethers yells a lot. So clearly it's a horror game. So anyways, he's like, hey, stop poking your nose in where it shouldn't be. And he's missing his office right now. He's not used to field work. So now we have our piece, we need to head back to the lodge and put that gear together. I actually am surprised that that let me do that right there. Normally it doesn't let me pull that one piece down far enough. It like hits some weird border on the window or something. Hitboxes are very wonky at times in this.
I can't, like...
So now the sheriff is threatening us because we keep poking our nose in where he doesn't want us poking our nose in. But thankfully the sheriff is very, very distracted by crossword puzzles. So let's get to the factory. But wait! This sheriff messed with our snowmobile. So we need to rotate the pieces into the correct positions. Another one that has all the pieces be random as you do it. That was a little slow solving. Yeah. That was really slow solving, actually. So back at the factory, welcome to the worst puzzle in the game. Just because there are so many moving pieces in it. You have to get them all hooked together. They don't want to hook together. It's going to hook a bunch of pieces all at once. And the puzzle just sucks. Alright, the lock is off the factory. We can finally get in and get to the bottom of the eraser shortage. But wait, who puts bear traps in the factory? In the eraser factory? What the heck? The first thing that's gonna happen is there's gonna be a giant freaking eraser in our path. So we need to cut the wire to get it, because somehow all those wires are tangled, but cutting just the right one is going to make it fall. And yeah. So you're supposed to follow the wires to figure out which one is actually holding it, and well, there you go. Next up is the second worst puzzle in the game, the furnace. But thankfully with a fairly simple pattern... Oh gosh, it's not letting me get my pieces in the right places. Oh my gosh, which means I missed that piece, and yeah, so it wasn't letting me push that piece up all the way. That's what I mean with sometimes the game just doesn't want you to do things fast. It just resists you. So now we need to get these hydraulic lifts into the right position to get out, but of course we have a piece that falls out. Now, take note that the down button is the one that falls off. We never actually use the down button in the solution. So my theory is that the thing will not even function unless all 4 buttons are there. Because the only solution you can get for this puzzle that involves the down button is if you use down as the literally first move. There is no other viable solution for what uses the down button. Anyway, let's go up, up, right, up, up, right, left, up, up, right, up. So that solution came to be partly thanks to Nitrodon. Well, mainly thanks to Nitrodon. He figured out, well, between him and I, we figured out the least mouse movement that would get the lifts into place. You don't have to place them in order. I will be. Just for simplicity's sake. But no matter how, this is, I think, the least amount of moves you can get to solve it. That just moves the mouse at least. That's your time save there. And I lost time on that furnace. Ouch. And time ends when I choose... Well, press where the continue button's supposed to be.
That's it. Let's get out of here.
So that's Puzzle Agent All Puzzles. Woo! So in the end, we finally find Isaac Davner, but the gnomes are protecting him. And they take him out the window and never to be seen again until Puzzle Agent 2. Which I do run, and I haven't run it actually in years, but I have run it. I need to get back to running Puzzle Agent 2, actually. But yeah, there you go. That's Puzzle Agent.
Well done, Agent.
Tethers.
Heck of a job. You got that factory back open, and the president is pleased as punch.
Really?
Well, he was never actually aware of the West Wing's eraser shortage. But rest assured, I'm sure he's happy to have not had to strike anything through.
Oh, thank you,
I
sir.
guess that's a world
Well,
record,
back to
too.
work.
Sir,
I
about
guess.
the factory foreman, Isaac Davner.
The end game
Concern
was
those
messy,
fellows. Any missing persons can be handled by
but
local law enforcement.
But,
You did your job.
the furnace puzzle did not cooperate with me.
okay.
Like,
What's a 9-letter word for baffling?
Recondite, sir.
Thanks a million, Tethers.
they totally didn't even
Wonder you're our
notice
star
that
puzzle
I didn't
agent.
pick up that saw
Thank you, sir.
to hook on. I didn't notice that it didn't hook on. I was too distracted by the next piece not hooking on properly. Because my big thing didn't want to move right. But anyways, woo! Puzzle Agent. Game is very scary. Way too spoopy. Gotta say though, I'm getting really hungry. So just confirm that I got all of them. 37 puzzles solved.